Welcome back to Lesson 7 of our virtual piano lessons series. In this video, we'll learn a new hand position and some new musical symbols. We'll also begin playing more than one note at a time in each hand so that we can begin to play a special type of chord, a triad, which will help us play even more complex music. Let's get started. First, let's go over a new time signature, 2/4 time. 2/4 time is very similar to 3/4 time and 4/4 time because each beat is still worth one quarter note. But now we only have 2 beats per measure. So we would count this example like this: 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and. So let's play this quick example. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 1, and 2, crossover. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, off. One more time, put your hands back in position. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, and. So far, we have played in the C position, G position, and D position. And another position that we can play in is F position. Like with all the other position, this one begins with the leftmost finger of each hand on the note that is named after, F. We have encountered all the notes in this position, F through C, except there is one small difference. We have F, G, A, but instead of B, we have a note called B flat. And then we finish with C. A flat is very similar to a sharp, except that instead of raising a note 1/2 step, we lower the note by 1/2 step. So for B flat, we take B and lower it 1/2 step to B flat. You'll notice that B flat is the same thing as A sharp. They are the same exact pitch, but just have 2 different names. Some other examples of flats are D flat, which is the same as C sharp, E flat, which is the same as D sharp, G flat, which is the same as F sharp, and A flat, which is the same as G sharp. Let's play an example in F position that uses flats. You'll see that both hands start on an F, and each hand will play one B flat. Take a minute to look it over, and then we'll play it. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 1, B flat, B flat. Reach up to an A, C, and an F. And one more time, reset your hands. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Now, if we wanted to play the F scale, we would actually have to use a slightly different fingering than the ones we have been using to play the other scales. Because of the B flat, in the right hand we actually use the fingering 1, 2, 3, 4, and then tuck under with 1, 2, 3, 4. Fortunately, the left hand fingering is the same that we are used to. Together, the F scale looks like this. Feel free to pause the video here and try to play the F scale hands separately. So let's play one more example in the F position. And you'll notice this time that some measures have more than one note being played by either of your hands. This is no different than playing only one note at a time, except it just requires a little more concentration. You'll see that we are still given fingerings above these notes. When you have more than one note being played at a time, the fingerings are written in the same order that the notes are written. So for example, in measure 2 in the right hand, we play the F with our first finger and the A with our third finger. Take a minute to look at this example, and then we'll play it together. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. So F, F and A, F and C, back to F, G and B flat, F and C, and back to F. One more time. 1, 2, 1, 2, ready, play. Before moving on to our next topic, let's quickly review a concept we learned in Module 4, which is the difference between half steps and whole steps. A half step is the distance between any two keys that are directly next to each other, including black keys. For example, E and F, or A and A sharp. A whole step is made of two half steps. So for example, a whole step above D is E, and a whole step above B is C sharp. These will be important to keep in mind when we talk about our final topic, which is triads. A triad is a special type of chord that consists of specific notes, a root, a third, and a fifth. The root is the starting note of whatever position you are playing in. So for example, the root could be C, G, D, or F, all of which are starting notes of hand positions that we know. The third is whatever note you would usually play with your third finger in that hand position. So in C position, the third would be an E. Or in G position, the third would be a B. Another way to figure out what the third is to count 2 whole steps, or 4 half steps, above the root. So for C, we can count up 4 half steps. So we'll start on a C and count up 1 C sharp, 2 D, 3 D sharp, 4 E. So we get an E. Or in G position, we can count up 4 half steps above G and get B. Finally, a triad has a fifth. The fifth is whatever note you would usually play with your fifth finger in that hand position. In C position, the fifth would be a G, and in G position, the fifth would be a D. Another way to figure out what the fifth is to count 3 half steps above the third. So in C position, we can count 3 half steps above the third, which is E. Count F, F sharp, G, and we get G. Or in G position, we can count 3 half steps above the third, which is B. C, C sharp, D, and we get D. So let's try playing some of these triads. Here is the C triad. Play it in the right hand with me. Now play it in the left hand. Now hands together. And here's the G triad. Play it in the right hand with me. Now play it in the left hand. Now hands together. And here is the D triad. Play it in the right hand with me. Now play it in the left hand. Now hands together. And finally, here is the F triad. Play it in the right hand with me. Now play it in the left hand. Now hands together. There are many more different triads that we did not cover, but for now, we'll just focus on the ones that are found in the positions we have learned so far. Let's play an example that uses triads. You'll see that our right hand is playing in the same hand position the entire time, but the left hand is jumping between different triads. We start in C, then in measure 3, we jump up to D, then up to G, then back down to C for the rest of the line. Take a minute to look it over, and then we'll play it together. One, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. C, C again, up to D, then up to G, back down to C, F natural, C again, and finish with C. And one more time. 1, 2, 3, 1, ready, play. To finish off this lesson, we'll play an arrangement of Maple Leaf Rag by Scott Joplin. In the left hand, we alternate between two chords. We start with a B and F, and then we switch to a C triad. And you'll see that we're able to keep our hand in the same position the entire time. The right hand starts by playing a two-note chord, an A flat and an F, and then we switch to playing a melody. In measure 3, we jump down to a new hand position where our thumb begins on an F, and we finish the line from there. You'll notice that the first 4 measures are exactly the same as the last 4 measures, so that will make things much easier for us. Take a minute to try out some of these chords and hand positions, and then we'll play it together. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 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 4 and one more time. Put your hands back in position. A little bit faster. 1, 2, ready, play. If you need some more review of any of the topics that we went over today, please check out the additional resources I've linked below. As always, make sure you get comfortable with this module's practice exercises and complete the theory worksheet, history lesson, and quiz before moving on to the next module. Bye for now.